Gather your army of noble animals. This is our review of Spheres of Life.
Spheres of Life is a set collection, take that fantasy card game, and I got a real Sandman comic book vibe from this game.
It's quick to play and easy to learn for a game in the fantasy genre. However, I feel like it's a little unfinished. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play.
Spheres of Life is played in phases: the day, night, and dream phase.
During each phase, players will take turns performing actions, such as drafting cards in the day and night phase and playing ability cards in the dream phase.
The dream phase is also where players can gift, steal, or exchange cards with other players in order to build up their hands.
Players want to collect sets of noble animals to earn points and give their opponents corrupted animals to make them lose points.
When the draw deck runs out of cards, the game ends. Players then add up their noble animals and minus points for their corrupted animals, and the player with the most points wins.
This game was sent to us by the creators so that we could do this review video.
If you'd like to find out more information or buy a copy of the game, please check out the links in our description below.
So this game is just a card game. Everything you see here, just cards. It's all you're gonna be playing with, so it's light, travels easily, and it plays quickly for a game in the fantasy genre. I feel like a lot of games we've played recently in the fantasy genre, even when they're just a card game, 60, 90 minutes, even on the box, you're like, oh, it's gonna take a long time. You're gonna do all these, this one's just straight up, no. On the box it says, didn't it say like plays in 5 to 20 minutes?
5 to 20 minutes.
But it's probably closer to 20 to 30 minutes, but it's still pretty fast for a fantasy game. So I like that you can break it out, you can play a fantasy game for people who like fantasy games, do this as the appetizer game, and then if you still wanna play a hardcore fantasy game, then you can go into it. So not a whole lot of appetizer fantasy type games, so I feel like this fits that bill.
When we first unboxed it, I mean, the artwork on the box and even the artwork on the cards like really drew me in. It might be because I just finished Sandman on Netflix, but I just got those vibes from it. Like there was a dream phase, and then, you know, just looking at the detail on this artwork, I'm like, oh, that looks like something I'd see in a dream, or you know, just like very detailed, like mystical animals. I mean, the corrupted ones have like these beady red eyes and has a presence that I'm just like a dark presence, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Really, like I think Dream's about to just like jump out somewhere right now. Like, is this a dream? Are we in the dream phase?
So full disclosure, all the artwork in this game is AI generated. So the creator of the game did put in the prompts and create the artwork and then probably tweak the artwork to make it fit, etc. However, it is AI generated. So depending on how you feel about AI artwork, know that going in that it does use AI artwork. It is very nice artwork. It is very cohesive. Everything feels like it goes together, and it is gorgeous to look at.
Now the creator did go an extra step, and in the rule book, like the first half is basically the lore and the whole story. So if you're the type that really wants to get in like, oh, okay, these look really cool, let me know more about the story. There is a little story in there for you to kind of follow and maybe get into character a little bit more of what the storyline is. So for those interested in that, it's there for you.
So at the beginning I said it kind of felt unfinished. So it's fun to play and it does play quickly, which I enjoy. However, there are times when you're playing, you're like, I wish I could do something, I wish I could do this. And then looking on the website, it said that there's gonna be expansions. This is just the base deck that you need, and there'll be future expansions. And it feels like it's a game that's developed for future expansions. And I feel like I'm missing those future expansions. I had fun with it, but after a while, I'm just like, all right, I get it. I need more to do. It's drafting. Another phase, it's basically drafting, only it's an exchange draft. And then a phase where you can play cards, steal cards, and you're just trying to collect cards and do that. I feel like it's missing a fourth phase, or it's missing some actions that you can take in the day or the night phase. It's missing that something. I get to a point, I'm like, all right, where's the rest of the game?
So as a take that game, there is an element of strategy or just depth to strategy in here because, you know, ultimately everyone's trying to get noble animals to collect all the points. They do have different variants where I think maybe you're trying to get down to 0 or something like that. So there are different variants in there of how you want to play. But ultimately, I feel like your main goal in first playing it is get rid of the red cards, the corrupted animals, have a lot of the blue cards, the noble animals. However, the way they try and mitigate that is the whole when you take an action, right, to steal. So if I'm only holding good cards, then like everyone's going to steal my good cards. So I have to sprinkle in some bad cards in there just so everyone can be like, yeah, go ahead, like
or you
steal
can
it.
gift a bad card strategically if you know, like, everyone's making deals, everyone's exchanging, and like, oh, Lee now has probably 3 of this noble animal, so he's got to get the max points for that noble animal. I need to gift him like a bad one to lower his score. There is strategy. I do like a lot of the things that are going on. Like I said, there are a couple times when, oh, this is fun. If I could do this thing, then that would be really good. And I just felt like I was missing that extra thing towards the end of the game when you really feel like, all right, I feel like I have a good hand, a good score, but I also feel like Lee has a good hand and a good score. And then take that game, I need to be able to go after him. And I just feel like I can, but not enough to actually make a difference. By the end, if I'm like, oh, Lee's probably got too much of a lead, no matter what I do to him, it's not going to really bring him down.
Yeah, and it's really the dream phase where everything is kind of meant to like, all right, boom, 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 playing this card, playing that card. However, in normal take-that games, we always ask the question of, okay, well, I did this first, and then you did this, but then he did that. So order of operations is always like, well, you got to be quicker. We didn't run into a lot of it because everyone was just kind of holding on, like, is now a good time? Like, is it now? I was really just drawn in by the artwork, right? Like I said, it kind of reminded me of like the Sandman or maybe Harry Potter with the little animals. I think there's like a spider and like a snake in here that just reminds me of some Harry Potter creatures. So I think I was drawn in more by that.
Overall, I like that it played quickly, very easy to learn, a fun take-that game in the fantasy genre. So you don't get a lot of those. A lot of the take-that are always like cartoony or like funny or kind of like gross out humor or potty humor, that kind of stuff. So it's fun to have a quick, easy take-that game in the fantasy genre. What did you not like about this game?
So as I was learning it, the rules seemed a little confusing at times. Even some of the cards' abilities, I sat back and I think to myself, why would I ever play that? However, if you kind of keep playing or you think about it more, you may come to the answer. But I think there was one card where we had to actually reach out to the creator and say, why would we ever do this? And they gave an example. However, I think it may have needed to be explained a little bit more on the cards.
I would say the biggest disappointment with this game is it's that unfinished feeling. It just feels like it's missing something, and as I'm playing it, I feel like I'm missing certain actions that I would like to be able to take.
Overall, I really like the artwork and everything. However, gameplay-wise, I'm with you on kind of the feeling of unfinished. So I'll probably give this like a 3.5. Definitely hopeful to see what does come out if something else comes out to see how it could improve it.
Overall, I think it's a fun game. I like the fantasy genre. I would say that I'm going to give it a 5 because it is that unfinished, but I still enjoyed it overall. So I'm going to give it a 5. That was our review of Spheres of Life.
What'd you think? Are you ready to enter the dream phase? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. And go party like a board gamer.